everybody, it's Anna. Welcome to the Wednesday card in this week's tarot story. So today we have the King of Pentacles reversed. So the King is the master energy of the court cards. It's the energy that knows how to navigate between the intuitive guidance, the genius and guidance of the intuition, and the action steps of the mind, the human part of us. The intuition is sort of that spiritual part of us, and the mind is the human part of us. And so bringing them together. So we've got, intuition supported by action steps. And this King is the part of us that knows how to make that happen. So the pentacles are connected to the physical realm. So they're about things you can see and taste and touch: your money, your job, your physical wellness and vitality. So the idea is this King is the master manifester on the physical plane. And he's conscious about it, which is important because we are always manifesting. We are being humans on the planet, being a combination of human and divine and spirit on the planet. Our intuition's always doing something and always manifesting new things. It's just that we're not always conscious of it. And our mind is not always along for the ride. But when the card is upright, it suggests that the mind is along for the ride. It kind of understands what the intuition is asking for, is taking action steps on that behalf, and they're working in continuity, right? And what occurs, what manifests in the physical plane is recognizable. Maybe not perfectly what we thought was going to happen, because that's not usually how it works, but we recognize this is the outworking of that instinct, that guidance, and the action steps. So it's a manifesting that's very conscious and very intentional. This one came to us reversed. I feel like this is similar to the reversal of the Eight of Cups, which came yesterday. And that is we're maybe not feeling completely masterful right now. And so as I mentioned with the Eight of Cups reversed, when we're feeling like the Eight of Cups is sort of that spiritual seeking card where you're walking into the wilderness in the dark. You don't care if you can't see because you're following your heart. And there's that sense of confidence and mastery. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I know that I know, right? And the reversal of that means that I don't quite know that I know. Maybe I'm struggling a little. I'm feeling a little unconfident. And I feel like that's what's happening here too. When you're not in mastery, you feel unconfident. And it's easy to think that you've done something wrong. It's easy to think that instead of realizing that you can't really do anything wrong. We're not in the spiritual journey is not about doing things correctly or badly. It's about the process of living on the planet. So mastery is only one kind of step in the whole spiritual journey. It's the eighth step, right? The rest of the steps are about struggle, confusion, being brave or being kind. There's lots of different lessons that hop up. And so the King, when he's reversed, is not just a lack of mastery, it's also an invitation to step back into the role of the page. And the page in the court cards is the student energy. So I'm willing to learn something new. So when you're not in mastery, it's not a deficit that you should be in mastery and you haven't achieved it and you should work harder for that. It's more about an invitation to see what is available. And when you're not in mastery, what's available is learning, is kind of relaxing and softening your expectations so you can see what is available. And I mentioned this, I alluded to this yesterday with the Eight of Cups reversed, how often when we're not able to move forward in our intuitive genius, it's because the mind is struggling with something. The mind's feeling discouraged or tired or confused. And it's tempting when we're feeling vulnerable, when the mind's feeling vulnerable like that, it's tempting for the mind to judge itself and say, well, tough it up, go harder, ignore your lack of confidence and just push past it. Basically, one of the mind's strategies is to greenlight itself, not to greenlight itself, to gaslight it, green light and gaslight can be the same thing in this case, to gaslight itself and say, go anyway. But the invitation is here. I think that the page energy is, but what else is possible? Yes, that's one strategy we've all learned from we were very young, probably. But what else is possible? And the other possibility is not doing that. Instead is to be present to the struggle, to be kind, to be gentle. And when you, instead of fighting and judging yourself, when you're gentle and kind instead, you are actually letting in new energy, new grace, new love, new possibilities. You're breaking open something new, which is Page of Pentacles energy. It's basically saying, yeah, something is lacking right now. In the physical plane, my mind is detecting a lack, which is causing it to feel unconfident or unhelpful or unsafe, right? So if there's a lack, let's agree to the lack and open up to the gift of what else is possible, right? So if you're feeling a lack, don't fight the lack or ignore the lack, admit there's a lack and then relax and let yourself be filled up by something. So I think this King of Pentacles reverse, it can be very frustrating to feel like you've got kind of a plan, you've got an idea, but you can't enact it yet. But if you feel like you can't enact it yet, just agree that you can't enact it yet and rest and see what other gifts may be possible here. Maybe you do need to be nurtured or revitalized. You need to take a break. You need your partner, the universe, to step in and give you some support. So make room for that. Make room for that. Step into the page energy, make room for that. Let some new energy flow, and then you'll be ready to go. That's our card for today. See you tomorrow for our next one. Bye.